Yo, what's good, YouTube? How you doing? How is everybody? We're gonna be checking out the rest of Pink Floyd's Animals album here. So we're continuing from track 3 and going 3, 4, 5, and that should wrap up side 2 of the album. I hope I have it right. So let's go ahead and dig our toes into Pigs. 3 different ones. All right, here we go, guys. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it back a little bit. Okay, I want to dig into these lyrics. Okay, so the lyrics are a little deeper to dig through on this one than Dogs so far off the beginning of that. So let's just keep it going and see if I can dissect. To me, it almost sounds like an evil woman, like your hot stuff with a hat pin. You radiate cold shafts of broken glass. As much as I'm enjoying the musical break, I do got to say it's a standout difference between the musical breaks I'm used to. Usually they're very much more complex, so much more sounds to interpret. Kind of just a 3D just feeling, man. You are just engulfed. This one is a lot more toned down than that. I would say you've got the strumming, you've got what sounds like that synthesizer, that kind of mouth synthesizer sound happening. As far as the lyrics, they're more complex for me to understand here. It sounds like the three different sections of verses. We haven't hit the third yet, but I've got the lyrics here that they are different. The second verse that we just got over with, it did sound like to me like maybe an evil woman, maybe a mother figure, who's just spiteful and dirty, and it's like, you're so pathetic is kind of what I'm getting from that. You're almost a laugh, but really you're a cry. I kind of get that as just saying you're pathetic. Like I'd laugh at you, but you're so damn sad, honestly. That's what I'm getting from what they're saying. I do like that. I do like this part here. And the lyrics are all credit Roger on this one. like the little cowbell sound. Okay. I'll pull up the next lyrics real quick before we get there. And that is Sheeps. So real quick on my thoughts on this one is that it felt I think the song was ultimately, like the title says, 3 different ones. So it might be every verse addresses somebody or some different situation, and maybe it's not personal people in his life, maybe it is political. He brought up White House, right? And I know that this has some relation to Animal Farm from George Orwell, loosely based off that. So maybe it could be a political reasoning behind the verses as well. Now, as far as the production, there at the end, I was a little bit surprised that the rhythm guitar was louder than the solo, and it was louder than the bass. So I felt like the rhythm kind of drowned out the bass line and the solo a little bit. It was actually sounded louder in my headset. I don't know if that's how it sounds for everybody. But that was one thing I did notice there at the end. Now let's move on into Sheep. So we've now had pigs, dogs, and sheeps. That bass reminds me of Echoes a little bit, though. We're coming in. Tell me I'm not the only one. Oh, I love the way they just fade in a bass line, though. busted the door open. Yeah, so this one definitely sounds more like politically aimed, man. You kind of like you're blindly, aimlessly following the orders that are being barked at you. Wake up, man. You just kind of going and doing your 9 to 5, not thinking about what's taking place around you. That's the vibes I'm getting from the lyrics here. But man, standout contributor to the song right now is the bass line that Roger's throwing down here, man. I like that. Just chugging the song along. Bringing it down a little bit. We got the stone fading back in from Dogs. Mr. Nick Mason was back there, just letting those drums talk for a little bit. Almost sounds like a scary movie sometimes with the sound effects they do. Yeah, so I wonder, do they play any more songs from the Animals, or did they? Right, because right now it seems like maybe things have kind of fizzled a little bit for the Pink Floyd concerts tours. I think Roger's currently kind of touring with the name of Pink Floyd, if I heard that correctly, or at least he was the last to do it. So let me know if that's correct. But as far as when they did tour and when they are actively touring with Richard Wright, did they ever do songs from Animals? I gotta say, I was really curious during this album so far that if anybody had played this for me without me knowing who it was and said, "Do you know who this is?" Maybe I could have identified the voices and said, "Yeah, that sounds like Pink Floyd." But it wouldn't have been easy for me to understand that this is Pink Floyd. To me, it is a very different sound. From a person who hasn't ever really been exposed to Pink Floyd until the last 3 weeks of their life, it's a very different sound. You better stay home and do your time. Get out of your road. Yeah, so sheep is pretty much a really great word for that song as far as the lyrical content and the meaning. I mean, you're a sheep, you're obedient, you follow the shepherd around, you do what you're told, right? Don't really think about it, you just do it. A message I really appreciate, and a lot of artists have shared that message, and I appreciate it, man. You gotta think. Gotta think for yourself. Don't be fed that media BS and just buy what they're selling. Okay, Pigs on the Wing Part 2 now.
You know that I care. What happens to you?
I do like the sound of part 1 and 2. I like the sound of this.
And I know that you care. For me too.
Thought he was gonna say what happens to me.
So I don't feel alone on the way to the stone. Now that I've found somewhere safe to bury my bones.
Ah.
And any fool knows a dog needs a home. A shelter from pigs on the wing.
What does that mean? Every dog needs a home, a shelter from pigs on the wing. Man, I don't know what that means. But then this is just sheep again, right? Okay, so that wraps up this album for me, and here's my thoughts on it. My favorite track on that was Dogs. I think Dogs was my favorite track on this whole album, followed by Pigs, I think part one, and Pigs on a Wing part two, the beginning and end of the album. I really like the sound of both of those, and it's like, damn it, I wish they made a full song of that because it had a really pleasant sound to it. Now this is an album I could definitely see myself playing in a car. It's not anything I would reject. It's an album I wouldn't have thought sounded like Pink Floyd very much, outside of probably Pigs part one and two. I think those definitely, there was something in there, man. The sauce. There's something in the sauce, man. It had it. You know, it had the Pink Floyd sound to me. But ultimately, like I said, I don't know if you would have handed me this album and said, hey, who is this? And I could have told you so easily. I probably would have had to do a deep dive and a deep take to say, you know, that sounds like Pink Floyd to me. And once again, that's only after about 3 weeks of knowledge of Pink Floyd here. Where I would rank this in what I've been exposed to from Pink Floyd so far, I'm sorry, don't hate me. I guess I'm not a true Floydian because I would rank this last in everything I've heard so far for my personal taste. I was crazy for Dark Side of the Moon, crazy for Echoes, crazy for Wish You Were Here. I've been crazy about everything so far that I would have to rank this below the other stuff that I'm just like, you know, I really have it as a very high standard for the other stuff. So from my understanding from here, we go to The Wall. So we'll be, maybe I dabble in something before I fully get to The Wall. I don't know quite what I'm going to do right now, but thanks for the recommendation, man. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on Animals, and I'm sorry if it doesn't line up to where you might regard this album. Definitely don't mean any, you know, to disregard it by any means. This is just my personal opinion of where I rank Pink Floyd right now, and I can't wait to be exposed to more of their material. So that's it for this one. We wrap up another series, and I'll see you guys soon with more content. All right, catch you on the next one. Peace.